What's up traders, it's John Howe here from officialjohnhowe.com, and in today's video I'm going to be teaching you something that's really going to help you when you're trading the markets, and it's something that a lot of people don't talk about, but it's very crucial on helping you move forward in the actual interests in the actual trading itself. See, a lot of people focus on the market they're trading, right? Is it the futures market? Is it the stock market? Is it the currency markets? Is it the futures markets? They focus on the market. And then they also focus on what? The trading system itself, right? It's like, okay, I want to learn the rules of the trading system, getting in, getting out, and stuff like that. But one of the biggest things that I'm going to teach you right now today in this thing is really going to help you move forward. And I promise you that once you master this one technique that I'm about to teach you right now in this video, if you can master this, you can be like 30% right and 70% wrong out of trading and still make really good money. And the reason why I say that is because I've actually done that. Okay, I've been in situations where I've only been 30% right. I had a really bad trading period, but due to the fact that I learned how to have good trade management, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that right now in your trading system, right? So you can move forward. And because I actually did that, I still made some really good money. Make sense? So right now we're going to be talking about good trade management. So let's have a look at this here, okay? Just make sure that my microphone's on so you can actually hear me clearly, properly. It is, so let's actually continue. All right, anything I do say in this video is obviously general advice only. What I want you to do is I want you to take this and I want you to apply this to your trading system. This is one of the key distinctions that a lot of people don't talk about, but it's really going to help you to become a much better trader in the actual when actually trading the markets, okay? And I promise you that. Now let's have a look at this here. When we're trading the markets, right? We're getting in, we're getting out, and we're trading the markets, and we're moving forward. Now the first thing I do see when it comes to trade management is this is the thing. When most people get into the markets, what do they focus on? They're always focused on the profit, right? The profit. Meaning like, I'm going to get in with X amount of money into my account. Now we're not talking about money management and risk management here, right? We're talking about, well, that's not what this video is all about. It's about trade management, right? So when they actually first get into the trade, what do they focus on? They focus on how much profit they're going to make. Right, and they start to get this voice, right? It's like, oh, if I get in here and I get out here, I'm going to make $10,000, $100,000, 200 grand. Trust me, I've done it, right? Put them on big positions myself. And you focus on that. But what is the one thing that they don't focus on? And it's probably the biggest thing that they should be, probably the first thing they should be focused on is the risk, right? Or slash the loss. Here is the key distinctions here, right? A lot of people, non-successful traders, what do they focus on? They focus on the profit, and they just say, oh, well, the risk is there. I know the risk is there, but let's just push that aside, right? That is the risk, and that is the loss, and that is the profit. So when we're actually going through the markets and when we're actually doing this, we need to flip it upside down. So the first rule of good trade management is to flip it upside down and not focus on the profit, focus on the loss or the risk for that, okay? Where am I going to get out? This is good trade management. Where am I going to get out if this is a losing position? And what is that risk on my account, which is risk management now on your account, right? And so by looking at that, we need to say, okay, then what is my risk now? What is my risk on each and every single trade by looking at that? And so what we need to be doing is, firstly, we need to be focusing on the risk of every single position, because it's the risk. If we can keep our risk small, right? This here, our loss, let's do this here. What does that look like? I don't know. If we can keep that small, right? Keep our losses small and focus on keeping our losses small, right? Don't focus on the profit. Don't focus on how much money we're going to make, right? Because when you focus on all this profit and you forget the risk, right? What happens is the profit disappears and the risk and the loss takes care of your account, blows it up, right? Let's flip that upside down. As soon as I started trading this way, as soon as I started saying, I'm going to focus more on the risk and the loss and focus on cutting my losses small, and that's where my focus is going to be. the profit took care of my account. Can you see the differences there? Can you see the different subtle shift in thinking on every single position? So in every single position I'm taking, I used to, long time ago, I used to just focus on profit, right? I'm going to get in here and this is where my profit target's are. Now profit targets are good and stuff like that, but that should be 20% of your focus, right? That should be 20% of your focus here. So over here, this should be 20% of your focus, okay? Profit objective, because we need to have a profit objective when we're actually trading the markets, okay? No doubt about that. But here, this is where we need to have 80% of our focus should be focusing on the risk management, on the risk of the trade plus loss, and plus also keeping a loss small. And how do you keep your loss small is having really good trade management. So let's actually have a look at that there, okay? So the first thing is, the first thing to actually good trade management and become a good trader is flipping around and saying, okay, then I'm going to focus on keeping my losses small, because if I can keep my losses small enough, the profits will take care of it, okay? Most traders, they just focus on the profit, and the risk and the loss takes care of their account. If you focus on the risk and focus on the loss and focus on trying to keep those losses small, okay, then what happens is the profit takes care of your account and you end up making money there. Okay, so let's have a look at this here. Let's actually talk about some finer details of how we actually do this and how we keep our losses small and by doing this, okay? And let's actually talk about some of the biggest mistakes that most people make when it comes to that. Because some of you might be saying, yeah, John, I know, like, I have stop losses and I have profit targets when I actually trade. So isn't that having a stop loss and isn't that having a profit target? Yes, it is. But here's how you actually have a good trade management when you're getting in, okay? On any given position, right, whether it's bullish or bearish, okay, whether it's bullish or bearish, we're going to get into a bar, right? And so let's actually just look at this here for a bullish example, okay? We're going to look at this for a bullish example, and we're going to have this here is the bar, okay? And this bar here is what? This bar here is the entry bar that we're going to be entering on, okay? This is what we call the entry bar here, okay? And let's just say, for example, your system was where you're going to enter in here. This is where you're going to enter, okay? This is where you're going to enter, right? And that's where you're going to enter there, right? And let's just say, for example, okay, let's just say, for example, your system that you got into, and say, for example, for me, if I get in on this bar here, my stop loss is generally down here somewhere, just below that low, because I know if it comes back down below that low, I'm out straight away. But here's how we have good trade management by keeping our losses small. What I do is this: if that's our entry bar and that's our stop loss, and up here is our profit target, okay? Up here is our profit target, down here is our stop loss, and that's where we entered, okay? And so what most traders do, right, they'll actually say, okay, well, I'm just going to wait for it to get to my stop loss or my profit target. But what ends up happening most of the time, right, or what ends up happening a lot of the time, right, sometimes it'll always get to the profit target and then come down and stop you out, and sometimes it'll get almost to the stop loss and it'll come up and hit your profit target. But here's the interesting thing, right? With the way that I trade and the way that I actually like to have good trade management is this. When we actually get into the markets here, okay, and we have the profit target and we have a stop loss, when we get into this market, I don't want to wait. Sometimes I don't want to wait for the market to get to my stop loss, right? If I get in here and then suddenly we have, and let's just call this the daily chart, okay, because I like to trade the daily chart myself, but you could call this any time frame, right? And let's just say, for example, the market went down like this, okay? That's where the market was, and went down like that, and suddenly it went down again, and it went up again, and then it went up again, okay? And then suddenly it went up, and then suddenly it went sideways, and then back down again, right? And then back down again, almost to your stop loss, and then back up again, right? And especially me, I used to trade the E-minis a lot, E-mini S&P, 2 charts and 5-minute charts and 1-minute charts, stuff like that. And that used to happen a lot, right? And it used to drive me nuts, big time by doing this. Because it won't hit my profit target, it won't hit my stop loss, it's just range bounding through there. So for me and my psyche, and for me for cutting my losses short, right? When I get into a position, okay, let's rub this off here for a minute. because I've got something critical here. When I get into a position, I want to make sure that I'm getting into a position that I'm expecting the market to move quickly in my direction, right? That is a big key of good trade management, right? So let's just say, for example, once again, this here is my entry here, okay? I'm expecting the market to move in my direction really quick. And let's just say, for example, my stop loss is down here. Okay, my stop loss down here, my profit target's up here. And if that's the case, and I'm expecting and if I'm in a really good, powerful, strong trading system, well, in a sense, it might have, say, maybe one down day, or one day like that, but in a sense, it should start to do that. Makes sense? Because my system strategies, because I'm actually trading a system, the first good and one good thing here, or one good rule here, is make sure you're trading a system that when you get in, it should start to move really quickly. Within 1 or 2 days, it should start to move in your direction. Makes sense? And that's the systems that I like to trade. So if I know that inside myself, and I said, okay, then here is my stop loss here, and here's my profit target, and I'm getting in, okay? I'm getting in here. And let's just say, for example, that happens. That happens here, okay? Where I'll get in here, and let's just say the next day does that. Okay? Goes down. And the next day does that, goes down. And then suddenly we have a big up bar through here, okay? You know what I'm saying, right? And then maybe we have an inside bar. After 2 or 3 or 4 days of this, guess what I'm doing? I am exiting here. I'm exiting here for what? For a small loss. I'm exiting there for a small loss, which is keeping my losses small because the market didn't do what I wanted to do straight away. Now, yes, what does happen, and it still drives me nuts to this day, is you'll get out, it might have one down day, and suddenly does that. Right? Suddenly does that. But that drives me nuts, but I know inside myself I'm taking care of the risk first, right? I'm taking care of the money in my account. I know there's going to be plenty of trades out there that if I'm trading a good trading system, that's just going to take off and go for there. Make sense? So that's how what I call cut your losses short and let your winners run. And right now, if this was the trading system, and let's just say, for example, I was risking $50 here, then my profit would be at least $100. Make sense? So it's a 2-to-1 profit risk to reward ratio, meaning when I get into the trade, my stop is $50, but my profit target. So automatically when I get into a position, I automatically have 2 times the profit target anyway than my actual original stop loss. See what I'm saying here? So here's what we have to have here. One, we have to have a good trading system. Okay, a good trading system. Even if it's 50-50 right, who cares? That's good. Okay, but we need to have a trading system that you know most of the time when you get into it, maybe a day or two after, it's going to move in your direction pretty quickly. Right? That's the first thing you need to do. Second thing, as we talked about before, second thing is we need to have at least 2 times profit, then stop. Okay? 2 times profit, then stop. Are you with me so far? I hope this is really helping you out here. So 1, we need to have a good trading system. 2, we need to have a 2 times profit, 2 times that stop. And 3, if it goes sideways for a while and just mumbles around and stuff like that, and it's not really moving your direction, well then exit for even a smaller loss. Make sense? For even a smaller loss. So this loss here might be, say, let's call it $10. Make sense? So how many $10 stop outs do I need to have for one profit to now make money? Right? I can have over here, right? I can have 7 stop outs. If the numbers were equal, by the way. 7 stop outs. If I did every single trade, the market went sideways, and sometimes the market did blast off, and that's the way it was. But I could have 7 stop outs at $70, and actually, you know what? Let's do this. I can have 8 stop outs, an 80% loss ratio, and lose $80, and 2 of them make money, which equals $200. take away the $80, take away $80, I still made $120. Is that right? Yeah, $120. Can you see what I'm saying here? Can you see the differences in trade management, right? Trade management is all about taking care of the risk first, taking care of the actual, a lot of drawing over here, all right? Taking care of the loss first and making sure your trade management is that, you know what? Yes, I know my stop is down here, and yes, I know my profit target's down here, but if it does not move, because remember the first thing over here, right, is to have a good trade management. And if it does not move in my direction straight away, really, really quickly, boom, up we go. If it does not do that, then I am exiting straight away for a small loss, right? Because I'm expecting with the Dow 2, it should start to move. And once again, you have to be okay. It still drives me up the wall, but you have to be okay with sometimes it just going up like that. Going, you know, just it simply goes in your direction. You actually would have made money on that one. You know what? But to me, once again, I'm always taking care of the risk first. I'm trying to keep my losses. If I'm in a position, I'm trying to keep my losses as small as possible. So I can actually have, as you can see over here, I can have an 80% loss, right? Or actually, what did I say? What did I say at the start of the video? Where it can be 30% right. You know what I'm saying? So yes, not all trades are going to be like that. You know, sometimes you're going to get like a full stop out and stuff like that. But what I've found most of the time is that the market will generally give you an early warning trade. And as I said before, what we're doing here is we're setting ourselves up to make money in the market. And so I don't care. I can take a good trading system. I can take a really, really bad trader who trades a system, right, and has these rules in place. And let's just say he gets a lot more here. He gets 7 wrong. He gets 7 wrong, and then just gets 3 right. Well, I don't care who you are. You're going to make money if you stick to these good trade management rules. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, what do most people do when they're actually trading the markets? And this is due to, you know, e-mini trading and forex trading and stuff like that. It's unfortunate that happens like this. And what do? They actually wait for the full stop out and they cut their losses or cut their profits short. So they might wait for the $50 stop out, but now they're only taking a $40 win, a $30 win, a $50 win, oh look, $100 win. I hope that makes sense, right? Can you see the way most people trade? And that's what the way most people do in the market. See, I know right now when I'm trading the markets, if it does not move in my direction really quickly, especially on the daily chart or like I do trade, that I know that I should be getting out really, really quickly, okay? So let's just run over these 3 rules here for good trade management in the markets. 1, we need to be trading a good system that we know that when we get in, it's not going to move in that direction really, really quickly, okay? Secondly, we're going to try and actually set up a system where we're going to have at least 2 times our profit, then stop, because just by being 50-50 right, you can still make money with that, okay? And 3, we're going to exit early. We're going to exit early if it does not go in our direction within a couple of days. And again, but that's also going back to if you don't have a really good trading system, then you shouldn't be trading it anyway. You know what I mean? If you don't have a good solid trading system, then when you get in, it should move really quickly in your direction. You shouldn't be trading that type of system anyway. You know what I mean? You're putting the odds against you by doing that. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, here's 3 rules. Here's the way that here's the way you should actually have good trade management. Okay, and again, it's all about, and I promise you, I just promise you, please do this. Whenever you're trading, always be looking at, okay, I'm looking at reasons to get out early for a loss, okay? But if it starts to, if I get in here, let's do this here. If I get into a position here, okay? If I get into a position here, and let's just call this my entry bar. If I get into a position, and here's my profit target, and what happens is this, is that the market goes up, the market goes up, the market goes up, and let's say my profit target's up here and it's almost at my profit target, then what do you think I'm going to do, right? It's almost at my profit target, I'm just going to take it. You know what I mean? And then do that. You know, I might be after $100 profit, but it's giving me 95 right now. 95, you know what I'm saying? Messy writing there, it's okay. So it might give me 95, so I'm going to take that, you know what I'm saying? And the reason why I mention that is because I will wait for it to get very, very close to my profit target, okay? Let your wins run, like let them go and let it hit almost to your profit target. Even if it's almost at your profit target, it's good taking this. And then as it on the downside scenario, on the risk scenario, if it starts to do this, guess what I'm doing? I'm exiting. So exit the trade early for a loss and let the winds run for a profit. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't exit, oh look, 1-2 days, look, oh, it's at $50 profit here. As an example, $50 profit. It's all, look, it's at $50 profit here, let's actually take that. You know what I'm saying? No, let the trade run almost to the profit target and cut your losses early. And if the market starts to go sideways, and that's my sign anyway, if I get in and it spends 1, 2 or 3, or generally between 2 and 4 days, if it's going sideways, I'm out really, really early, okay? And now it just depends on what you're trading, depends on what you're doing. You can actually minimize the risk even more. I won't talk more about that, but just real quickly before I go, I use options for this. Okay, I use options and I'm always trading first or second in the money, second ITM. Just real quickly on this one. I won't go too much detail. If you don't know much about options, then that's fine. I'll cover this in another video. But what I like to do is I like to trade stocks in the US market generally. Stocks in the US market, and I like to trade first or second in the money. And by doing this, it allows me to come out with a small loss even more because I'm trading first or second in the money option. And then the profits take care of itself. Anyway, I'll talk more about options a bit later on in another video, but this is all about having good trade management, guys, and I hope you understand, I hope this makes sense to you now that when you're getting in, okay, let your profit run. Let it run. Don't get out early. Don't get out early with your profit. Get out early with your stop, right? Don't wait for it to hit your stop loss. A lot of the times I won't wait for my, generally like 70% of my stop outs are early. Why? Because I want to get out early. Now, I ran an auto trader a little while ago, right? A little while ago. And when I ran that auto trader, I actually had, here were the numbers roughly, okay, from memory. For you guys that were on auto trader, don't quote me on this, okay? This is just for memory. I'm just giving the illustrative purpose of reason why this is so important, okay? I was running auto trader last year for my clients, and I was trading options in the US market like I trade right now, right? And we had, I think the first five trades, and some of you guys are probably saying, yeah, I know. The first 5 trades, I think we had 6 trades. Yeah, the first 6 trades we had 4 losers, right, and 2 wins. Now you're probably thinking, oh my goodness, that's hopeless. Professional trader, what do you think you are? You know, like you got 4 losses and 2 wins. That's hopeless win-loss ratio. And it was, right? And guess what? Putting text all over me here. Guess what? It was, but because I have good trade management, even in bad times, and you're going to go through a bad time as well too, and this is why it's so important to actually go through this. But here's the reason why this is so important, right? My first trade was like a 10% loss, right? 10% loss. 10% loss. My second trade was like a 5% loss. My third trade, and now I actually had loss after loss after loss, I remember this. My third trade was a 15% loss. Now, it's not 15% on the overall total trading account, okay? It's 15% on the position size that we're trading, which was only 5%, okay? So if you look at that, 10% of I won't go on the numbers here, but you get what I'm trying. You get the point here, right? So the third one was a loss, and this is all about having good trade management, right? I was cutting the losses short. If I knew I had to get out, I got out really early, right? And the fourth one was again from memory, it was about, let's just call it a 20% loss. Okay, 20% loss. So let's calculate these up all together. What have we got? 20, 40, 50, right? We have an overall 50% loss, right? A 50% loss overall on the position size, not the total account. It was like 2.5% loss in the account at the time, right? But then guess what happened? One trade, right? Then my fifth trade over here, what actually happened with that? Well, the fifth trade, from memory, I think I made like 80%, right? 80%. So now I'm ahead already just with one trade, right? And then the sixth trade was something like a 60% win or something like that, okay? From memory anyway. So can you see the reason why I actually had a loss, my first 4 losing trades, and then the next 2 trades. I think the fifth one from memory. I think the fifth one was around about a 50%. I think the fifth one was around about a 50%, 55%. Because I remember that one trade there. I remember it actually brought the account almost back to break even, and then the sixth trade, poof, straight back in the green or the black or whatever you want to call it, and then we make money, okay? Anyway, guys, I really wanted to give you a good detailed education and a really good detailed understanding of how trade management works and go through it, and also show you exactly how that works as well too. So I hope you really enjoyed this. To the right here, you've got a couple of things. If you want to follow me on Twitter and Facebook, click on that social media button. It'll take you over to a page where you can actually follow me on Facebook and Twitter. If you're interested in getting these videos on a daily basis, then when it says sign up to daily newsletter, click on that button below to take you over to where you actually can sign up to a newsletter. And of course, click on the subscribe button if you really like these videos. And of course, like it and share this video out if you really enjoyed this. This is John Howell here from officialjohnhowell.com. Click on those buttons, follow me on Facebook, sign up to if you really like this type of video, sign up to the daily newsletter where I'll be sending these type of videos out, and also articles and a lot more to really help you move forward. And obviously subscribe to the channel as well. This is John Howell here from officialjohnhowell.com. Remember, success can be yours if you go claim it. So step up, take massive action, and keep your trading under control and success. All right, guys, talk to you later.